Sorry about the time delay. We realise you're all very busy people, so we apologise for a slight delay. To kickstart this, as you can see, I'm sat between two huge, in-shape heavyweights. Shame about the third one, but there you go. I'd like to talk about. We've got a special situation here. This is a new era in heavyweight boxing. The two heavyweights sat either side of me are like a version of the Klitschko's, but the UK and Ireland version of the Klitschko's. And in my honest opinion, they're definitely bigger men, but I believe they're more talented than the Klitschko's.
And better looking.
And better looking. Yeah, we'll throw that one in.
Get that one in there as well.
The man to my right obviously needs no introduction whatsoever. So I'm going to start with the man to my left before we come back and start talking about the historic show that we've got going on Madison Square Garden. Hughie Lewis Fury, 18 years of age, just turned last September. He had an incredible year last year. Became a two-time national champion with the senior Ps and the junior ABAs. He then turned 18 in September and was called up to represent England at the World Youth Games. 5 fights later, I think it was the 6th of December, he was crowned world champion, gold medalist. The first ever British stroke Irish fighter at heavyweight to do that, to pick up that prestigious medal. Incredible 5 fights, a real hard schedule for him. And en route he beat a current European champion. Tremendous performance. He's been around me now for a few years. I've seen him in Tyson's training camps. I remember Emmanuel Stewart saying when he was 15, 16 and taking care of top pros in the gym over in Montreal, the US, saying this kid is the destined world champion. Raving about him. All I've heard, wherever he goes, whether he's out in Europe sparring or in Canada, everyone can't believe this young fighter. Now, I'd like to make it clear there's a lot of talent out there, a lot of young talent. We've just had the Olympics. There's a lot of fighters looking to, move camps and so on and so forth. And we've had our fair share of approaches. But this is who we've chose to go with. In a similar fashion to when, after the 2008 Olympics, I got a lot of approaches, but I chose to go with Tyson Fury. And it proved to be the best decision ever. And this is what I'm doing again now. We're going with quality rather than quantity, and I believe we've got a real special situation. Both have been trained by Tyson's uncle Peter Fury and Hughie's dad, who's done an incredible job. His young son becoming world amateur champion, and Tyson, the transformation is apparent everywhere I've seen what's been done with Tyson. It's been incredible. So they're in the best of camps, with the best trainer, and Hughie has got a tremendous advantage in following in Tyson's footsteps. He's already been in Tyson's camps, but he's going to continue to be in his camps and work with him, and that is something Tyson never had with him. So Hughie's got a great advantage here. I would say one thing, I'm sure you'll get it from the boys when we start talking, but we've had red hot names for America, top American names for sparring for Tyson. And Tyson will always tell me that Hughie gives him the best spar. Heavyweights that can spar worldwide. So I'm sure you'll agree with a real special talent in the house. I'm going to move back to Tyson now, because I'm going to keep this short and sweet and move to yourselves. Tyson, as you know, is headlining in the historic fight at Madison Square Garden on April 20th in New York. And it happens to be on network TV, which is a huge deal. This is, for me, the debut of all debuts. Madison Square Garden, network TV, NBC, in a headline fight from #2 position in the IBF. It's not an easy fight. Steve Cunningham, former world champion. We are forcing a mandatory position with Vladimir Klitschko. This is for the #2 spot. When Tyson wins this fight, he will be fighting the leading contender to be mandatory. The final limit to be mandatory for Vladimir. We have to go that route, because I can tell you right now, and I can assure you, that the Klitschkos have no interest in fighting this young man. No matter what anyone says, they have zero interest. To go with Pianetta after the Times made it clear that we want this fight and we're up for this fight, to me it's ridiculous, because this is the biggest fight in heavyweight division against Tyson Fury. So they want no part of Tyson Fury, and that is entirely unbelievable. So we're going to force the issue. Tyson's going to become mandatory. It looks like once he beats Cunningham, and I believe he'll do a job on Cunningham, no easy task, but he's the best heavyweight in the world. Once he does that, I believe the leading contender will be Kubrat Pulev, and we want that fight. We really want it, and that will be to be his mandatory. And then you're talking an incredible purse bid for the title. It'll be one of the biggest heavyweight fights for many, many years. So that's where we're at, fellas. Hughie will be fighting on the Madison Square Garden show. Subject to ball approval. He's had all these medicals, he's had his interview at the ball. It's all going through at the moment. Once it's rubber stamped, he will be fighting on the Madison Square Garden show. So I'd like to open it to questions. Obviously, there's going to be one-on-ones and photographs afterwards, but for the time being, I'd like to encourage, if you could, some questions to the two fighters.
What made you decide to go rather than stay with the Arabs? You had a great offer from the GB squad, I understand.
Yeah, I had what it is. Yeah, I've achieved almost everything matches. Right, and I don't thank the England team for giving me that opportunity of winning the gold medal. Yeah, but I'm training with Tyson all the time in the professional camp. So, of course, as a record, I want to beat Mike Tyson. He won the world title at the age of 20. I'm only 18, so that's what I want to achieve. The youngest ever to become a world champion.
Tyson, you must be excited about the headlining at the Madison Square Garden. You must be excited.
You know, this is a thing that's been coming for a long time. You know, I've been around for the past 4 years now. I've been the greatest heavyweight in the world for the past 2. But you know, America's finally going to see Tyson Fury, and I think everyone's looking forward to it as much as I am. You know, we're all ecstatic about getting over there, boxing at Madison Square Garden. You know, it's home of boxing in the US. Look at all the great champions that fought there. I'm just going to add my name to that list. Do a job on Steve Cunningham, take out Pulev, take out Klitschko, come back, relax, take it easy, and then make a defence.
As Mick said, it's obviously on network TV. It's so important you make statements as well.
You know, this is by no means an easy fight, not at all. You know, Steve Cunningham's a very experienced fighter. He's a good mover, he's fast on his feet, he's got fast hands, you know, he's very skilled. So it's going to be a tough fight for me, you know. He's going to run away, basically, and I've got to hunt him down. You know, and it has the potential to be a stinker because of his style. And he's going to look to try and make me miss. But he thinks I'm a brother, really. That's the business. But, you know, I'm more fast than any cruiserweight or heavyweight out there. I've got better movement and everything, so he's in some deep trouble, you know. He can run, but he can't hide. Where's he going to go? Ring.
Mick, there's a large Irish community in New York. Any plans to engage with the fans before the lead up to the fight?
Oh, big time. We're actually flying out. Tyson's going out to Canada's training camp this Friday. Then he's meeting me in New York next Wednesday, and we're doing a press conference ahead of the St Patrick's Day trial. So it's already, we've had huge interest from the Irish community, like massive interest. So that's going to, we're counting on great support out of this. We've also been inundated with a lot of people in the UK, fans wanting travel packages and in Ireland wanting travel packages. They're just waiting for the details. The tickets are actually going on sale Friday at Madison Square Garden, and Liam Vicky will be able to give you more details on that.
Tyson, what do you make of Flavier's next opponent and the way he's going about his career?
You know, I'm losing respect for that brothers, you know. Obviously they've been good for a long time. So have fought. You know, but you don't really fight anybody who's any good. You know, fight Tony Thompson, an old man, Derek Chisora, who I beat up before him. Now he's fighting Pianetta, Marius Watt, one foot in front of the other. You know, I was punching this fella around the ring when I had 2 fights, two professional fights in Berlin in 2009. You know, he wasn't good enough to lace my shoes on. And you know, it just shows you, if you can stay undefeated, if you're shit or not, you're going to get a world title shot. Proof, the pudding is all there, everything's there. If you stay undefeated, you can't put one foot in front of the other. You've got promoted yet, you've got to get a world title fight. You know, these Klitschko's are taking easy fights. I've already said, I knew that the Beckham fight wasn't going to happen. I said, I'm more than willing to fight on April, whatever it was, and ready. But you know, they took an easy option again in this Italian fella who can't fight. You know, what do I have to do it? I've fought an eliminator now, I've got to fight another eliminator, then I've got to fight a final eliminator, and then he's probably going to retire. So, good riddance to him. Just messed up heavyweight division, in my opinion. You know, they've got no flair, they've got nothing. It's all about just strictly business for these fellas. It's not about boxing anymore, you know. And that's where I've put things. I've been saying it for a long time now, but definitely going to bring the heavyweight division back to the good days. Because when I get the title, I'm going to take on all the comers. I'm going to go on a bum of the month campaign, and I want to hopefully Mick will be able to get me these bums like Pianetta and whoever else is out there to fight once a month, you know. And I'm just going to show you how shit you really are. I'm just going to go through a lot of them like a warm up. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm the only heavyweight on the planet, except Hughie, that is actually any good. The rest of these are pretenders, you know. You've got these two old pensioners, the Klitschko's, 40-odd-year-old and 37 and 38. That's pensioners in heavyweight boxing, and they're avoiding young, fit men like me. And you know, I've got no shame in saying I want Vladimir Klitschko anytime, any place, anywhere. Don't think it's in Germany, Holland, Belgium, Norway, Newcastle, wherever he wants it. I'll go there and fight, because there's only going to be one winner, and that's me. And after I've done Cunningham, Hughie's getting a good idea because he can't fight neither. And then I'm going to show you how to destroy a Klitschko in good fashion.
Have you had any contact with them at all? Have they contacted you since you last fight the Klitschko?
I don't get in contact with anybody because all that, but you know, they don't want no part of it. They're running away, basically.
The last contact was basically Italy hasn't made his mind up. Vladimir's going to face his mandatory. If things change, we will definitely come back to it. Things did change, but no, it's the biggest fight in the heavyweight division. They need to sell like mega fights. That's the only mega fight out there for them, Tyson Fury. It's crazy how the TV networks that are obviously backing it in Germany aren't demanding these fights. It's ridiculous.
Do you feel that they're holding the heavyweight division to ransom and pulling the wool over people's eyes, the way they're doing it?
Well, someone mentioned to me, because I've made various advances and I've made it clear that you'll fight both Klitschko's. And then someone came on to me saying that, I think it was German TV, someone said that Tyson's turned the fight down. So I got in touch again and said, hang on a minute, he's available. We'll sit down, as long as everyone's reasonable, we'll make a deal about the fight. And that's the answer.
So someone within their camp had told German TV that you'd turn the fight down?
That's what I was told. Allegedly I was told that German TV had been told that we'd turn the fight down. So I made the person to that contact who contacted me, was in contact with TV. I said, we haven't turned the fight down, we'll take it gladly. And then I made contact with him. So we've got no choice. We've got to force the mandatory situation. So even though it's the biggest fight in the heavyweight division, we've got no choice.
So,
but with brilliant fighters, with top class fighters, you have to do that. You have to force the mandatory situation, and we're there. We're 2 fights away.
Are you able to, if the Klitschko's won't go down that route of facing you or defending the IBF title, do you think they may even be stripped? Or Vladimir may even be stripped?
After this fight, Tyson wins the final eliminator for the mandatory position. They don't fight, they'll be stripped.
Mick, would you take a voluntary position considering the management implications and financial implications that takes, or are you only focused on the mandatory position?
The text messages and phone calls I put in were for them to make a voluntary.
Yeah.
So we can cut to the chase and get it. Tyson's ready to go. Everyone can see that, everyone knows. If you know what he's doing in sparring and what he's doing in training camp, he's good to go, honestly. He's on fire. So basically, we would have took the voluntary situation as long as they were sensible, but they've never even talked money. So we're focusing now. We're not going to wait around. We've been waiting around long enough for Tyler, waiting around for him to make his mind up. We've done an eliminate with the WBC. No one knows what's going on. So we are now. We're gonna take care of our business, and we're gonna make it mandatory for that title.
That's what I was asking Mick about. Do you not think that Vitaly is holding that belt to ransom at the moment?
I do, yeah. I really do. I think it's ridiculous how things go on really bad. But it's not just us. Lots of people have been hanging on non-stop. You know, at the end of the day, there was a final eliminator with Ariona and Stavern. If he is going to retire, that's going to be made for the title, and Tyson was going to fall the winner of that fight. We're just waiting around, so we've had to make a move.
Tyson, a bit of animosity and hype built up between you and David Price. Did you watch David Price and Tony Thompson and you? So what was your thoughts on that fight?
I watched it on YouTube after it happened. I was in Italy in training camp for, you know, one of these things. And I told you he was no good all along, didn't I? But he had the nation convinced he could beat Tyson Fury along with every other heavyweight on the planet. And it just shows you how rubbish he really was. You come over an old guy out of shape, yeah, put him to sleep, simple. You know, you can say it's heavyweight boxing or not, but it's one of them things. An old man like him should be putting one on the side of your head equally. You know, he was a fraud and he's been exposed. Finished. End of.
Secondly, did you see our argument on the interview with Tony Thompson and what he called you out afterwards?
You know, this fella's trying to make some money, Tony Thompson, before he retires. I'm sure that after Cunningham, if it was available, if he hasn't been beat already, Thompson, I'd like to take Thompson, just for the record, you know, fucking straight. But I don't like the idea of him coming over here and taking out the top prospect and going back to America and bragging around everywhere. And he's done it, you know. David Price, in my opinion, was never a top prospect. He fought all the old pensioners again. Paul Garrison, Matt Skelton, whatever his name is, Sam Sexton. They picked the easiest route out there, someone to step up to, and it always stuck from, you know, so it shows you what level they really are. You know, but I do believe he can come back because he's a popular fella, and you know, all of them have losses, don't they? Frank Bruno, Felix Lewis, Thompson, they all get knocked out, you know, and they can all come back. So why not? Why not David Price? But you know, in every division, you can't take a shot. You're not going very far anyway. And he doesn't have that mental toughness anyway.
The Klitschko brothers have always said that they would never fight each other, yeah? But if you guys got to the point where you were both world champions, would we see Fury versus Fury in a ring?
I would never fight Fury Jr. in a fight because I get my ass kicked all over. I'm a king, but this is a young prince. And let me tell you now, yeah, I've been all around the world sparring. I'm not just saying it for all here to try and make you example. This is the God's honest truth, yeah. Don't tell lies. This fella is the business. Listen, not only can he fight, yeah, he's awesome. This fella, Mick Hennessy's not just signed up a boxer. He's signed up a player, a woman getter. This is the man.
Looks like Elvis.
He looks like Elvis. And if Barry Agwad didn't have the name Kid Galahad, I would definitely say Fury has to take that name. But, you know, I definitely think he's going all the way because, you know, let me just tell you a few points about this kid. He's got a chin like steel. Well, we don't need to say much about his heart and willness because he's got the last name Fury, so we'll not answer that. But he's got the determination, he's got it all. He can hit him. I've been in my both ends bars and he's had no professional fights, and I'm one of the best heavyweights in the world. He's be a top spar, so I don't need to say any more. And he's been sparring with all top guys. We've recently over in Switzerland and he had that Gregory Tony sparring. I knew he punched him all over the ring and he saw me double Richard Towers. So he's going to be a very, very special talent, and I do believe he's going to have the right guidance because there's no man in Britain or the world that can get heavyweights or people the right experience to get them to the top. And I'd just like to say I've got to give Mick Hennessy a big clap because he's done a great job on getting me the right fights, the right experience, tough fights. Look at the other heavyweights, they're coming undone all over the show because they're having easy knockovers. I don't have easy fights, yeah. They've all been good fights along the way. I've had an experienced learning curve fights. This is why I'm in the position to do. So hopefully he can do the same job with Hughie, and we're going to be the Furious 2 instead of the Furious 1. And hopefully, in a few years, he'll be up there with me, and we'll have all the belts and everyone's going to have to come through us. Now, you've heard of the Klitschko brothers, but this is the Fury cousins. But we're like brothers anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
What's mine is his. What he has in the future, I definitely want some more.
Nick, on the network TV deals, is it network TV in the UK and America, or what's the situation?
Yeah, just it's obviously on network in the US, and we're negotiating at the moment with obviously Channel 5 to get the right situation.
Are you optimistic that we'll see it on Channel 5?
Oh yeah, just negotiation.
And which channel is it in the States?
NBC.
On NBC.
So the main thing is obviously to really sort of like, you know, make a splash in the US, and we've held off a few times now because I wanted Tyson's US debut to be spectacular, and this is something very, very special. So they're excited about it, they really are.
What time is he due in the ring? New York time, yeah, and UK time.
The NBC show is East Coast time between 4 and 6.
Yeah, so a daytime show, yeah.
It's a daytime show. It's,
So prime time here,
prime time.
9, 10 o'clock.
Oh, so that doesn't affect their casino on Channel 5, so it's earlier in the night, yes.
It's absolutely... Negotiating here is a brilliant situation because it's an afternoon show.
Yeah.
You know, go on network TV and prime time here as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
And throughout Europe. So I'm very, very proud of this situation. It's what I've always wanted for Tyson. And I just want to set the record straight as well. We've done our own thing, as Tyson said, and we weren't going to be drawn in with all the BS that was going around with the price cap, because if the fight was going to happen, it was going to happen on our terms. And Tyson spoke to me, and he spoke in the deck, but we was going to make an offer to them for a huge sum of fight. But obviously, you know, they was always going to run the whoever they fight, with him getting through the fights. But that was a fight that, you know, it was going to be a stadium fight. It's a fight that Tyson's always wanted, but it had to be under the right circumstances, because he's earned the right. David Price never had earned it, like he said. So that we was going to put a great offer in for that fight, and obviously their end, they messed up big time.
Do you think the fight can still happen down the line? Or is it kind of...
You know, I'm on route for a world title fight. This guy can make it. Hopefully, I really do wish that he could come back, you know, because it's looking like a good rivalry, and especially a local derby as well. You know, I think he can come back with a quite few fights, his next couple of fights, a couple of decent wins. He's back on top, isn't he? He's going to have everyone convinced he can win the world title, unified division again. No doubt, I think he can knock the outside around, so he'll have everyone's imagination pumping again. So I think it can be still a big fight, you know. But you know, the outcome's going to be the same as Thompson's going to, really.